All right. Hello, Fam Bam, and welcome to another insightful episode of Talking Business with Ritz. So this is Ritzel Loreto Rectra, your host for today. In today's episode, we're diving into a topic that holds the key to unlocking extraordinary potential, transforming your outer world, the power of inner change. All right. See you in a bit. All right, stay tuned because we've got a phenomenal guest who will illuminate how nurturing yourself, fostering aligned communities, and overcoming adversity can transform your journey to success. But before we dive into the valuable insights, let's remember the essence of this show. All right, Talking Business with Ritz is about showcasing the person behind the title, celebrating authentic stories and valuable lessons we gain from one another's experiences, okay, and how we can take advantage of their expertise. The show where we dig into the heart of humanizing entrepreneurship. All right, so if you are watching with us now, kindly comment hashtag live. I know you're shy, as shy as I am, but please kindly comment hashtag live. Or if you're watching us on replay, comment hashtag replay. If you haven't joined the group yet, join the group Talking Business with Ritz live expert interview and network with these experts that we have in the past episodes. All right, and of course, follow us in YouTube, in my YouTube channel at Rizzo Rectra. Okay, let me flash. Let's start with the first segment. All right, folks, it's time to get to know our expert on a personal level. We've got a fun round of random questions lined up that will give you a peek into their world beyond business. All right, let's dive in. Today, we're joined by a remarkable expert, Leah Drew, with a wealth of experience as a mind and body healing guide and CEO and the CEO of Mind Body with Leah. Okay, she's here to shed light about the power of inner change and how it will help shape the world around us. So let me put her on stage. Here we go. And with an applause. All right. Hello, Coach Leah.
Hi. I love the little applauses that you throw in there. Hi, Rich. Thank you so much for having me on your show today.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. So, all right, Coach Leah, let's dive in. It's your moment to shine. So, let's start with the first question. Let me just change the layout. Here we go. Who is Coach Leah?
Interesting question to start. Who am I?
Yeah.
Sometimes I like to stay mysterious, but other times I my extroverted self is like, here I am. My name is Leah Drew, and I am someone who is very passionate about helping others learn to better navigate their pain and challenges, both in their internal world, their body, their mind, and in the world around them. And so I'm a big believer that our medical system and our world doesn't optimally prepare us to step into those challenges that life throws your way, to learn how to best support yourself when you feel that pain, whether that pain is physical, mental, emotional, or energetic pain. And I am a big believer that every person in the world should feel empowered to be able to better support themselves with more optimal tools to do so.
All right. So you've told us as well what you do. Now, who do you serve?
Who do I serve? I serve anyone that is looking to take control of their experience. I serve anyone who is ready to go deeper into themselves, who is ready to unravel the threads that are keeping them wound up, and the individuals that are ready to turn their wounds into wisdom and their pains into power.
All right. Thank you, Coach Leah. Let's dive a little bit deeper. In your opinion, what is a coach?
A coach, in my opinion, is someone that shows up and leads as an example. A coach is someone that offers a space and supports the people around them in feeling safe to look at themselves, to create shift within themselves, to create shift within the world around them. I don't necessarily think that a coach is somebody that has it all together. Like, we're all human beings and we're all trying to figure it out. There's no excuse me, there's no right way and there's no wrong way. But a coach is somebody that's taken a couple more steps ahead and who has a little bit more experience with one particular thing, right? Any particular field. I'm sure you have so many coaches on the show that do so many different things. And so a coach is somebody that, in my opinion, you should be able to look up to, that it should feel good for you to look up to, and it should feel good for you to be guided by. And someone who's nurturing and who's understanding, who's loving and who is supportive, who is able to hold your hand and not do the work for you, but support you and walk with you as you do the work yourself.
All right. Now, why did you become a mind and body healing guide? When did it begin?
So that began after actually getting fired from a job that I loved very dearly as a younger girl. Yeah, I was working for a gym at the time, and this was after college. And I was beside myself when I was fired from this gym. And one of the reasons that they had let me go was because they wanted to control what I could and could not do within my title. And at the time, I was a personal trainer. And that was the title I had. And on the side, I was a massage therapist. And so, because of my background and my experience with rehabilitation, pain management, working alongside physical therapists and doctors my whole life, I had a really strong understanding of assessment tools. And so I would assess all my clients as they moved before I would bring them into any type of training program. And that wasn't something that was openly and readily welcomed in this space. And so when I was fired, they kind of lit a fire under my butt, per se, to really go out and do what I wanted to do on my own. And so I ended up starting my business, and that was where I started bringing all the tools together. It wasn't just a massage therapy session. It wasn't just a personal training session. It was mindset. It was empowerment. It was movement assessments. It was check-ins. It was accountability. It was mobility. It was touch. It was energy work. It was whatever I saw that client needed, and I was able to meet them where they were at and take them to where they wanted to be. And so, I stepped into that space after I really started understanding what I never received as support for my physical body and my mental and emotional bodies, and saw this need to deliver that to the people in the world around me.
All right, that's cool. Okay, now for some light random questions. This is where we're gonna get quirky. All right, now what is your favorite word and why?
Ooh. What is my favorite word and why? Hmm. The word that's coming to me right now is alignment. That's
Alignment.
a word that I love, and that I love because it's a reminder. It's a reminder to me to always tune back into my inner knowledge. And my inner knowledge is the higher intelligence within me, which all of us have access to. And it is that all knowing. It is what I tune back into to help understand which direction to step in and which path to keep moving forwards on. And
Mm-hmm.
alignment for me, when I'm connected to it and when I'm constantly tuning back into alignment, it is what helps me with doing things because it feels good. It's what helps me do things because it's fun. It's what helps me stay in tune with myself, with my needs, with how to best show up so that I
Yeah.
can continue being in that alignment, in that space that feels good for me. For so long in my life, I lived in a place of resistance, and my human relationship suffered. My physical health suffered. I was in chronic physical pain all the time. I suffered really severe mental health challenges, to the point where I came close to committing suicide.
Wow.
And yeah, and I just
Okay.
it was I experienced so much pain. Like I said, physically, mentally, and emotionally. And all of that affects your energetic body. And
Of
so
course.
all of these together, I was suffering. And when I eventually got to the place where I was sick and tired of suffering, and where I was sick and tired of my business not feeling abundant, and where I was sick and tired of my friendships hurting me and the people around me not supporting me, and my
Mm.
body, my physical body not supporting me, I decided to create change. And the first step in creating change is bringing awareness to any situation, to any circumstance. And as I did that more and more, I came to understand that I wasn't in alignment, that my life wasn't in alignment, that I didn't feel good doing what I was doing. I didn't want a brick and mortar business anymore. I didn't want to feel controlled by my emotions and my mental health. I didn't want to be in relationships with people that did not see me, did not hear me, could not understand me, did not fully support me, and could not show up and meet me where I was at. And I was tired of going that extra yard per se to meet someone where they're at, and ultimately giving
Mm-hmm.
away my power. And that was really where I learned how to be in that alignment. And it's a constant learning experience, because you might find that alignment. Someone might call it quote unquote balance. I don't like that word,
Yeah. Yeah.
because the truth is, once you find balance, you're not going to hold it. You're not going to stay there. In
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, it's this constant search for balance so that you can put yourself back into alignment.
All right,
And
we're gonna talk more of the alignment later in the Know the
cool.
Expert. I know you're gonna say a lot more when we are into the third topic. I think it's in the third topic.
Okay.
That all right. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, who would it be and why?
Right in this moment,
Yeah.
today, RFK. I would love to sit down and have dinner with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And a big reason I say that is because one of the things that I see being a massive challenge in the world right now is a lack of
Mm-hmm.
mindfulness across every platform: politics, government, socioeconomic, looking at world resources, education, whatever it is that we're looking at in regards to global challenges. I believe that mindfulness, a lack of mindfulness, I should say, is at the center of creating the challenges that we're
True.
experiencing. And right now I see RFK doing a big, big thing, which is ultimately putting his life in danger. Like he doesn't have to do that. But given the history of his family, he's stepping into doing it. And he is unraveling the thread. He is bringing to light the shadows that have been stuffed so far under the rug, and he's bringing awareness to people and helping them enhance that level of mindfulness across every platform. And yeah, he right now is somebody that I am looking at, like, regardless of whether he wins the presidential election next year or not, he is
Mm-hmm.
playing a huge role, in my opinion, in driving mindfulness in the world forwards and helping bring those things to light that really need to be understood right now. So yes, it would be him.
All right. Now, share a quirky talent or hidden skill that not many people know about you. Did I caught you?
A hidden skill.
Yeah. I know
Oh
you're
my
an
goodness.
extrovert, so everything you show a lot. Mm.
Well, something I share a lot on social media. I love to dance. Dancing and like self-expression through dance is one of my favorite things. I'm very comfortable with my body in every way, shape, and form. And so I've loved to move it. And I like to move it for me, to process a lot of my emotions, to process my trauma, to process my experiences in life. Movement is a great way to do that.
Mhm.
So that's something that some people know. And I'm a singer and a songwriter. And so that is also one of the things that a lot of people don't know is I write my own music and I sing my own
Wow.
music. Yeah.
Wow. What kind of music? What genre?
It is kind of my own thing. It's very like soulful. And sometimes people tell me that I sound folky and like bluesy.
Hmm.
So I kind of fall into that like soulful, folky
You know
range.
my next question or my next request, right?
What's my
I
favorite
give
type of
you.
music?
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't discriminate from one type to another. I like all of them. It's a very all-inclusive experience for me.
All right.
I like something that I can feel to. And what I mean by that is whether I'm in a mood to dance and move my body, I want something that I can feel the music and move to. Whether that's something that I'm in maybe a lower space emotionally on any given day,
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
something that can like really help me tap in and tune into my heart space and my body and listen. So yeah, there's no type that I like better than another. It's whatever my mood is on that given day.
All right. Would you be so kind to give us a sample of your song?
um, I'm gonna pass right now just because
All
my
right.
my voice is not warmed up at the moment, and
Sure,
I
sure.
can hear some of my tone. But I'm super happy to share like a link to something on YouTube that you can use if someone wants to check out my music. There is not currently anything on Spotify, but that is a goal and an intention for me in 2024 is to start bringing some of my music into a recording space and bring it
Yes,
into
yes.
music
You should.
platforms.
You should. You should do that. All right. We're looking forward for that link to share. Share that in the comment later. Now, describe your perfect day off in 3 words.
Oh, 3 words.
Yeah. Doesn't have to be
Hmm.
related to each other, just 3 words. What does your perfect
Be
day
with
off?
nature. Be with nature. That is the best day off for me is anywhere that I can be with nature, whether that's in the mountains or
Mm-hmm.
at the beach or anywhere in between.
Do you do earthing?
Of course I do everything. Yeah, being barefoot is actually a huge part of my life. I hike barefoot, I walk barefoot. I'm not sure if anyone's heard of the company Earth Runners. They're an incredible
Mm-hmm.
sandal company, an earthing and barefoot sandal company that I am an athlete for. And so I work with them pretty closely because I'm like fascinated by feet in so many ways. Don't have like a foot fetish or anything. So like just to clarify that. um, but yeah, like feet the biomechanics of feet, the way that the feet connect to the ground, the way that they
Mhm.
carry you energetically and spiritually. There's just so much that the feet do for you. And I just think it's so important to bring love and attention to them. And yeah, putting my feet on the ground is just like one of my favorite things to do.
Nice. Now, if you could instantly master any skill right now, what would it be and why?
Playing the guitar.
Ooh.
Yeah, playing the guitar is something that I'm dabbling in. I have one and I'm learning slowly.
Mhm.
And I have these visions all the time, excuse me, of me sitting by a fire with all my friends and like singing and playing my music and just
Mhm.
like holding that space with through music. And yeah, so if I could instantly pick up any skill, it would be learning the guitar.
Wow. All right. Now, if you could give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Mm, Find your breath. Yeah. Um, I recently recorded a podcast on my own podcast, and it was a solo episode around the importance of bringing mindfulness, as we talked about a little bit earlier, to the world around us, and why, and what changes that would potentially open a door to. And one of the things that I started to talk about was the lack of resources, mostly that children have growing up, and how we aren't taught as kids in most places in the world. In some places, this is happening, and I'm super grateful and excited to see that. But we aren't taught to tune into our breath. We aren't taught how to regulate our emotions. We aren't taught how to understand what's happening in our physical bodies. And I remember, as a child, I would stand up every single day through the end of high school and reiterate the Pledge of Allegiance at
Mhm.
to a loudspeaker, like literally, like looking at a wall. And I always go back to this moment and I reminisce on this. And I think to myself, what if I had used that time and been guided in that time to tap into my breath, to tune into my body, and to learn and be with what's happening here every
Mhm.
single day? And I wish someone had helped me understand the importance of finding my breath a lot earlier and tapping and tuning in a lot earlier, because it would have saved me a lot of moments of suffering as I started developing and getting older and moving through a lot of my life experiences.
That's a good advice. All right. Now, another one. What's a piece of advice you've received early in your career that you still hold dear today?
Mm. Give and do without expectation of what you will receive in return.
That one needs an applause.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
All right. Why?
you. Why? Well,
Yeah.
I think that we as humans are being raised right now in a society where instant gratification and dopamine hits are what we seek, even if it's unconscious,
Yeah.
right? Even if we are unaware of it. And this shows in our human relationships. This shows in the way that we text people. This shows in the way that we email people. This shows in every aspect of the majority of our lives. And it can be very, very easy to get trapped in this pattern of doing something, holding on to this expectation of what you're going to receive in return. And the most simple way is literally like a text message. If you text someone, most of the time, you're hoping for a pretty quick response. And we have easy access to like almost everything in the world right now. And so it comes with this oftentimes, and I see this in my clients, this expectation of what it is that you're going to receive. And when you can remove that expectation, you can tune into what is it that you actually are doing and want to do versus doing because you're wanting something in return.
Mhm.
And I find that that's changed much of the way that I relate to myself and interact with the world around me. And it shifts the perspective, it shifts the narrative.
All right. Now, thank you, Coach Leah, for being such a good sport. By now, we have an idea of who Leah Drew is as a real person. So that concludes the first segment of the show, Know the Expert. All right, you can drink water. Let's go to the All right, welcome to the Learn from the Expert segment. Let me just change the. All right, today we're uncovering the power of interchange that will help transform your outer world. So, for those who are just tuning in, this is Ritzel Loreto Rectra, your host for today. I am a content creator and process automation specialist. I am also the CEO and owner of Mighty Chill Virtual Solutions. Join our free Facebook group Talking Business with Ritz live expert interview and subscribe and follow me in YouTube at Ritzel Loreto Rectra. All right, now joining us today is Coach Leah Drew, a renowned mind and body healing guide. She is also the CEO of Mind Body with Leah. She will shed light on three crucial aspects of inner transformation. All right, let's talk business. Where is my drum roll? All right, now let's change this. All right, Pambam, we are going to talk about the incredible power of healing for success. The first topic is all about where are we now? The first topic is all about recognizing the crucial connection between personal well being and professional success. It emphasizes the significance of self care, both physical and emotional, in achieving goals. So it's about understanding that a strong foundation of self nurturing is the cornerstone of achieving lasting success. So here is our first topic. Healing for success, nurturing yourself for growth. So, Coach Leah, how does personal healing contribute to achieving success in business?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I'm gonna bring it back to it requires you to start within. And it requires you to do that to heal what is within you, because you are a mirror and the world around you is going to mirror what is within you. Some of you may have heard the saying, as above so below, as within so without. It is a very, very well-known spiritual saying, and it's true, because what is going to be happening within you is going to be reflected in the world around you. And what do I mean by that? If you are holding wounds, if you are experiencing pain, if you have limiting beliefs, all of these are going to be reflected into the world around you. And so when I'm working with entrepreneurs and when I'm working with business owners,
Mhm.
when I'm working with business women, businessmen, whatever it is that you're doing in the world, trying to make an impact in some way, shape, or form, trying to grow your business, your jobs in some way, shape, or form, we have to go within and we have to look at what are the roadblocks and what are the areas of stagnancy within yourself, the areas that you have not really gotten to know well. What are those areas and how are they influencing what's currently happening in the world around you?
Yeah.
And usually, when we look at that, the best way to step into this is looking at what in your life does not feel good. What in your life is currently a struggle for you? What in your life are you feeling challenged by? Are you feeling controlled by? Are you feeling overwhelmed by? And really starting with assessing what's happening in the outer world around you, right? Because if we don't know where we're at, we can't actually get to where we want to be. And
Yeah.
so yeah. And so assessment is going to be the number one most important thing to start with is really stepping into that observer role, observing what's happening in the world around you. and accepting that you have played a role in that. And that's a huge, huge, huge component that people are challenged by and they struggle with. A lot of people have a difficult time accepting that it is their responsibility. Regardless of what someone else has done in your life, there is still an acceptance of what you've allowed.
Yeah, that's true.
And so when you can step out of that victim mentality and you can start to take responsibility, it's a first step in regaining your power. And as you start to look at these patterns, you start to then be able to look more within yourself and understand, why are you triggered by this? Why has this hurt you? What is it that you have learned growing up in your life that has led you to play into these patterns? And it's not just you in your life, it's also looking at your past, your generational experiences. What did your mom and dad learn? What did they move through in their life? What were they taught by their mom and dad? And we learn when we're working with trauma and in the science of trauma, it's really, really important to go back 3 generations to understand three. Yep. To understand what happened with your grandparents, what happened with your parents, what happened with you. And all of that is going to play a big role in how you react, how you respond, what's happening in your body, and therefore being able to look at how is this influencing the world around you. And when you can do these things, when you can start with these things and start to step into that observer role, you can start to understand these areas where healing will help support you in getting ahead. So whether you're in a place of, I'm not holding clients, I'm not finding clients, I'm stuck at this following on social media, I'm not in the community that's helping me and inspiring me to step more into my entrepreneurial journey, it requires you to look within yourself and ask yourself why, and come to more of an understanding. And sometimes it's not always having the answer. Sometimes it's asking the questions without having the answers be immediate, because sometimes you've got to be with a question to find an answer over time. And so it's really just being in that observer role so that you can start to heal that inner self, so you can start to heal that inner child that wasn't supported in X, Y, or Z ways. To start to heal that inner child that needed validation, that didn't have the love and the support and the emotional recognition that they needed so that they could do things in the outer world and make steps forward or take steps forward that's going to create change. And so if you're looking for success and you're not currently finding it in your life, I invite you to look deeper within yourself and find where you might be able to take some responsibility and step into acceptance of how your patterns, your thoughts, your beliefs, your feelings, your emotions, your experiences have and are playing a role in the current experience that's playing out in the world around you.
All right. Now, what self-nurturing tips can you share with us that we can integrate in our daily routines?
Yeah. Self-nurturing tips. 1, radical self-compassion, and having compassion for yourself for where you're at, and recognizing that you are an ever evolving being. Like every single day, the amount of small and finite reactions that are happening in your body, you are constantly changing and evolving. You are never the same. Your physical body is never the same. Your mental and emotional body are never the same. Everything is in constant movement. And so when it comes to nurturing yourself, I think compassion is number 1, the most important thing. Because if you don't have compassion for yourself, and maybe the areas that you could be doing better, it's going to be really hard to step into creating a shift and a change. Because if you're just sitting here and you're beating yourself up about the thing that you did or the decision that you made or the experience that played out, ultimately you are doing the best that you can with the tools you have in the given moment. And you are a different person today than you were 3 years ago. Even if you're in the same circumstance, in the same situation, your mind's different, your body's different, you have more experience. And so finding compassion for yourself, I believe, is number one. Number two, self-care is so, so, so important. If you are
Mhm.
not taking care of yourself, then how do you expect the world around you to react and respond to you?
Mhm.
And by taking care of yourself, you're literally teaching the people around you and the world around you how to how to be. And again, it's that mirror, right? And when you continue to take better care of yourself, that looks like movement, that looks like taking care of your mind, that looks like taking care of your relationships, that looks like taking care of your spirituality and developing that spiritual relationship with God, with source, with the universe, whatever term you want to use in place there, right? It's about taking care of yourself and ensuring that your physical, mental, emotional, energetic health and well-being are the most optimal so that you can step into that success that you're seeking. I would say those are the two like biggest and most important things. But I think alignment really comes in here as well. I think that really understanding how to be that observer and how to recognize when things are in alignment for you, relationships,
Mhm.
your home environment,
Yeah.
your work environment, right? Your partnerships, your romantic partnerships. Because if things aren't in alignment, it's going to create resistance, and resistance is going to hold you back from not only success, but happy and a joyful and just an enjoyable life, really.
All right. So, um, by saying all that, in your experience, how does self nurturing influence decision making and problem solving in business contexts?
Great question. Well, by nurturing yourself, you are better equipping yourself with tools to navigate challenging circumstances and situations.
Mhm.
So, by nurturing yourself, you're going to be less reactive. You will likely build your emotional intelligence, and you will be more grounded to step into decision making and to make the most aligned decision possible. Because if you're not grounded and you're in the stress response and your body's in fight or flight, it's going to be nearly impossible to make a decision that it is likely going to be the most supportive for you because your brain is in that fight or flight mode and all it can think about and let me back up really quick. It doesn't
Sure.
matter if you're in a stressful situation at work. It doesn't matter if you're in a stressful situation in your relationships. It
Mm.
it doesn't matter if you just saw a horrific car accident, and it doesn't matter if you just got in an argument with your partner or with your
Mhm.
child. Your mind and your body are going to respond the exact same way in a stress response. So, again, it doesn't matter if you're being chased by a dog versus if you just had a disagreement with someone. Your mind and body respond the same way in a stress response. And so, when you think about that, it
Yeah.
it becomes very important to recognize that your body's always going to respond the same way to stress. It's a matter of how you navigate and how you handle it and how you deal with it. So if
Mm.
you're taking care of yourself and you're keeping yourself grounded and you're nurturing your mind and your body, it's going to support you in making the most aligned, the best and most effective decisions in your business to support you in moving forward and to support the people around you, to support the impact that you're making through your business.
All right. Now, being a part of such a community can have profound effects on one's journey towards success. So, in this segment, we'll explore how finding and nurturing such communities can be the missing ingredients in your pursuit of success. So, our second topic, I'm segueing. Okay. Our next topic would be aligned communities, catalyst for healing, growth, and success. So, Coach Leah, can you explain what aligned communities mean in the context of personal growth and business success?
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. And I say that because stepping into aligned community has completely changed my life. The people that you are around help with creating or removing the barriers in your world. And so what does that mean? Well, I want to take you to a story. When I think we all remember the start of quarantine. This was March of 2020. And Friday, March 13th of 2020, I moved across the country from Boston, Massachusetts to Los Angeles, California.
Yeah.
And I did that because I was seeking community. There was this experience that I was seeking that I knew existed that I wasn't finding in the place that I grew up. And it was a nurturing, it was a welcoming, it was an open, it was a vulnerable, it was an inspiring community of people that I was craving so that I could allow them to be a mirror for me to look more into myself, to look deeper at some of these qualities, some of the values, some of the ways that I was showing up in the world through seeing them. Because through another, you truly get to see yourself. And that's the most beautiful part about having community around you is you get to have yourself reflected back to you in another individual. We call that having a divine mirror. And when you have people around you that may not share the same values, that may not be as open, as vulnerable, as loving as you, that may not understand your path and your journey and that have a difficult time supporting you on it, it's actually going to prevent you and hold you back from expansion, from success.
You are actually in the wrong crowd.
Exactly. And not only does that play a role on your like mental and emotional body, but your energetic body. And energetics play a huge role in what you can have, experience, and achieve in your life, the impact that you can make, truly. Because that energetic imprint is what dictates what you can step into. And oftentimes, I don't know if anyone's familiar with Joe Dispenza, but he talks a lot about these concepts. And he talks a lot about, I want you right now, if you're listening, I want you to think about the biggest goal that you have in your life. What is it that you want? What do you want to experience? What do you want in your life? And now I want you to think about, okay, well, how do we branch these two things? How do we build a bridge to get there? And it starts with the energetics. If there's this thing that you want, you get to sit and now you get to ask yourself, who do I get to be? And how do I get to feel? And how do I get to show up? And how do I need to act in order to be that person? And now it's being that future self right now. And that is what's going to help start to shift the energetics of your being. And so when we look at community does the same thing. Community helps you create shifts in your energetic being. It helps you start to recognize what's possible for you. It starts to be that mirror and reflect back to you. How can you be? And for me, finding aligned community meant having community that allowed me to open doors that I had never opened or touched before. Finding aligned community in California, people that were self-expressive, people that were accepting, people that were supportive of my journey, allowed me to remember that I loved to sing. It allowed me to remember that I could be self-expressive. It allowed me to step into showing myself and showing parts of myself to other people in a different way. And by doing that, it brought healing. It brought growth. It brought expansion. And therefore brought success in my business because it helped me remove those walls. And we all have them. We all put this right now. Every single one of you have this ceiling above your head. And that's perceived ceiling of where you can grow to. And until somebody shows you that that ceiling can actually be here, your brain is going to have a difficult time comprehending that there's more space to grow into.
Yes.
And so aligned community is what helps you be that bridge to expand into that space. And so, I encourage you and invite you to sit with who are the people that are around you. Who are the people that you spend the most time talking to, that you spend the most time physically being around, and
Mm.
that you are currently being influenced by? And are they supporting you to get to where you want to be, that future self? And if they're not, that doesn't mean you have to cut them out of your life. That just might mean restructuring how you spend your time and your energy. And so by stepping into the most aligned community that's going to support where it is that you want to go, you're going to be able to get there faster.
All right, here's a tricky question. Community, when we say community, it can be anyone, right? Can be your family. What if your family is not aligned with what you want in life,
Mm,
in future? How do you
yeah.
handle that?
That's a really great question. And that's been a significant challenge for me throughout my life. And I do have a relationship with my family. And there was a period of time where I needed to distance myself from certain people
Mm.
in my family to find some healing so that I could understand, one, what is that connection that I want to have with them? And I like to think about this on like a bullseye. I want you to think about a bullseye. If you're the center of that bullseye, you have all these rings around you, and it's kind of taught and ingrained into you that your family should be on that first ring. And that's just like not true. Everybody gets to be on this ring in your life. It's a matter of where you choose to place them on the ring and how much access they have to you energetically, physically, emotionally, mentally. And so when it comes to family, I know a lot of people can resonate with this, is
Yep.
sometimes those relationships are not healthy. And you can learn to find compassion for who they are, what they've learned, where they've been in their life, and accept them for as they are, and recognize that just because someone is given family does not mean that they have to be a very close part of your life. And so when you're navigating challenging relationships within family dynamics, this is something that I do a lot of work with my clients, is to help them recognize what kind of relationship would best support not just them, but also the other person. Because if a relationship is not supporting you, if it's not making you feel good, if it's not
Mhm.
benefiting you, it is not going to benefit and support and help the other person either. And so, the big message I want to get across is you do not have to be in any dynamic that does not feel good for you. That includes your family. And that may sound harsh, but it's true. And you can still love and respect and honor the people in your family from a distance. And you get to set the boundaries that feel good for you.
Exactly. All right, pure gold. So far, we've explored two topics and is now transitioning to the third one. Let us splash it. Our third topic is from adversity to achievement, overcoming trauma in business. So many of us face challenges both in personal lives and professional journeys. So, Coach Leah, can you share a personal experience where you faced significant adversity or trauma in your business journey?
Yes. Which one to choose?
There's a lot?
Oh,
Oh, no.
yes. There's many.
Okay.
Um, so I would say one of the most challenging things was when I moved across the country, and I
Mhm.
left everything. I left my business, and at that time it was all in person. And I moved across the country with the understanding and the agreement that I was going to start working in person at this gym facility that was a healing and movement facility combined. And then obviously COVID happened, and that
Mm.
was not an option. And for a while I was stuck in this victim mentality. And excuse me. And I was like, well, why me?
Why
This
now?
yeah, why now? Why now what? And like
Yeah.
a majority of the world, I had to learn how to change my business completely to be online, because I could not touch people. I could not massage people. Nobody wanted to be touched. Nobody I couldn't do any movement with people. People couldn't really be outside in LA. Like that wasn't really what you were to stay in your home.
Yeah.
And that was really, really hard for me because I moved across the country with nothing other than my cat. I knew nobody, almost no one there. One or two people I knew of were in the city, but were not close to me. And I felt very alone at that time. And one of the things I really got to do was connect with my why. Why am I here? Why am I stepping into this path? Why am I doing this? And really connecting with the impact that I wanted to make. And, during that time, I got the stimulus checks, but I didn't get any unemployment support. I didn't qualify for any of the added business stipends due to an experience that I had last year. I hadn't made enough money because I spent 4 months out of the country on a learning exchange. So I didn't make enough money to qualify. And so it was mind-boggling to me how I could be in this place where I couldn't even get the support that I needed to stay afloat. And so I was in quite a significant stress response at the time, living in fight or flight. And I just came back to connecting with my why. During that time, I did some significant trauma healing with a therapist, which was really, really helpful for me in shifting the energetics, shifting my mindset, shifting the way that it was affecting my physical body. Because at the time, all of this was playing a huge role in severe chronic symptoms that I was experiencing at the time. And so I got to overcome this adversity of completely starting over and starting over with understandings and experience. It wasn't the first time that I was stepping into this. I was stepping into this with knowledge, with experience, like I said before, of how to do these things, right? And when you have experience, you can step into starting over with more strength, with more momentum, with more power. And so as you can overcome adversities in your life, it can and heal some of the wounding that surrounds those adversities, it can support you in stepping greater into the achievements. And so for me, that was completely shifting my business into being able to be online, to completely freeing myself to be able to be wherever I want, to travel whenever I want, to go wherever I want to go, anytime I want to.
Yeah, so it's just a perspective that how you reverse, how you think about not being online, doing business, um, and not having those clients that you need at that time. So, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs or professionals who are currently facing these challenges or traumas in their business endeavors?
Coming back to those nurturing techniques and those nurturing points from earlier, the advice that I would give to anyone that's facing adversity right now in their world is to pause, to take a step back, and to observe what doesn't feel good right now. What does not feel good, and take responsibility for what led you here. Is it following what somebody else told you is going to bring you success? Is it, which is so common. You see that all over social media. Hey, this is the way to do it. You can try that hat on, but take the parts that feel good for you, right? And so that's the whole point here, is taking a step back, hitting the pause button, taking a step back, being the observer, stepping into that mindfulness that we talked about earlier, so that you can start to get clear on what does not feel good for you. Because if you don't know what doesn't feel good for you and you cannot specifically identify that, you will not be able to step into a different experience. Once you do that, getting really clear on what is the experience that you do want. How do you want to feel? And really focus on that. How do you want to feel? And what are the things that are going to support you in feeling that way? And it's okay if you don't have all the answers to that. And starting to take care of yourself, that self-care, right? Starting to take care of yourself to be the change that you want to see in the world around you. and starting to nurturing and bringing that self-love, bringing that self-respect, bringing that self-compassion, and allowing yourself to show up with that self-care so that you can start to be that version of yourself that feels really good, that future version of yourself, bringing that version here and now. And so self-care, compassion, and really stepping into observing what it is right now that is not in alignment for you.
All right. What an engaging and informative episode we have. All right, everyone. We've covered a lot today about three important topics, and here are some of my takeaways. So, for topic number one, healing for success. Prioritize your well-being to bring out your best in business, as what Coach Leah had mentioned earlier. Now, for the aligned communities, community support and shared experiences can accelerate healing. Okay, now from adversity to achievement, overcoming trauma in business. Trauma can be a stepping stone, as what Coach Leah had been explaining a while ago. It can be a stepping stone to greater achievement in business. All right, okie dokie. So now let's move on to the next segment, work with the expert, where Coach Leah will share her unique offers to help you further with your journey of transforming your outer world by healing your inner world first. All right, you can drink water. Okay, welcome to the Work with the Expert segment. All right, Pam Pam, after going through these transformative topics, um, which I will flash again, healing for success, nurturing yourself for growth, and the next one would be aligned communities, catalyst for healing, growth, and success. From adversity to achievement, overcoming trauma in business. It's time to put these insights into action. These were all discussed in the Learn from the Expert segment. Come and watch, okay, if you are not able to um, come in early. All right, now Coach Leah Drew is an experienced mind and body healing guide and the CEO of Mind and Body with Leah. She is offering special resources and services that can make a real difference in your journey. So let's hear more about how Coach Leah can help you move forward on your path to success. All right, Coach Leah, let me just change the angle. Could you tell us more about what offer you have for us today?
Absolutely. So there are three primary ways of working with me. The first one is one-on-one coaching. So I do work with people one-on-one, helping them navigate through their challenges, their pains, looking at the patterns that are happening in their life. And that's a very intimate container where we're working together either once a week or once every other week. And that is something that I love so much because I really get to know you and I really get to support you and observe and reflect back to you the patterns that I'm seeing as we move together along your journey. And so that's a 6-month journey together. There's also two other ways to work with me. If one-on-one coaching is, let's say if coaching is something that you're very interested in and mentorship, but you're not in a place to financially step into that container, I do hold a monthly membership. This is called the Heart-Led Healing Membership. And this is for anyone that is seeking transformation, growth, and looking to change their life through the route of radical self-love, right? Through that heart-led space, right? To be able to find more of that complete alignment so that you can step into expansion and transformation. And I run that with a beautiful friend of mine named Harrison Marr, and Harrison is from Australia. So it's fun to be able to work together on two different ends of the world. And so that is a monthly membership. You can opt out at any time. There are 2 calls a month. One is a workshop, an experiential call, And that's where you'll receive that drop in and really tune into yourself. And then the other call is accountability and a Q&A call. The last way of working with me is through my group program, and that is called the Mind Body Initiative. And that is a way for you to dive deep into all of the things that we've talked about today, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being, and really get clear on what are the things that are blocking you and holding you back from stepping into your most expansive self with complete vitality, releasing your physical pains, your mental pains, your emotional pains, and gaining clarity on how you can start to step forward into a life that feels really good for you. So if you're interested and you want to chat more about any of those offers, please reach out. I love to get to know you. I would love to see and support you and navigating what might be best for you given your current circumstance and situation. So
All right. Now, how are they going to, get in touch with you? How can they get in touch with you and learn more about this offers?
Yeah, so you can find me on my website, leahdrew.com. You can also find me on all social media platforms at Mind Body with Leah. I primarily hang out on Instagram, but you can also find me on Facebook, Leah Drew on Facebook. So reach out, send me a DM. I would love to chat, to just learn a little bit about your journey. I really like going deep and diving deep into life, into conversation. And I love platonic intimacy. It makes me feel good to help you feel seen and heard, and vice versa. I love to feel seen and heard and understood. So if I can support you even in that, through that in a conversation, I'm here to do so.
All right. Wonderful. Before we wrap up, Coach Leah, do you have any personal advice or final words of wisdom you'd like to share with our audience?
I'm going to bring this back to mindfulness and really invite you and encourage you to think about how are you bringing mindfulness to your everyday? How much mindfulness do you hold in every moment of every day? If your brain is thinking about all the things that you have to do, chances are you're probably not embodying that full aspect of mindfulness. And it is a constant practice, right? And it's this constant showing up to practice the mindfulness. But if you're in a space where you're feeling stressed, you're feeling triggered, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling unhappy, chances are mindfulness could be brought more into your life and support you in getting to the place that you want to go, getting to the place where your triggers aren't controlling your life, getting to the place where stress isn't overwhelming you, where you can actually find happiness. And so I invite you to sit with that. And if mindfulness is a new thing to you, I invite you to head over to my website and grab my free download to support you with a daily mindful check-in. And this is a way for you to start to learn how to bring mindfulness into your life on a daily basis so that you can start to have this conversation with your body, with your mind, and recognize what it is that you need and how you can bring the best tools to those needs. And so when you sign up for the Holistic Healing Tribe on my website, you will receive that free download, that free daily check-in, and find your breath. Coming back to the question that you asked me earlier, I invite you to find your breath. And the easiest way to do that is to just be with your breath by counting it. Counting your breath in, let's say for 5 seconds, counting your breath out for 7 or 8 seconds, and extending that exhale and focusing on how counting that breath drops you into the present moment of your being. And so, yeah, my last words here are just to trust yourself and to trust in the process and to make that daily effort to bring mindfulness into your everyday life.
All right. Thank you for sharing that insightful advice. Coach Leah. Now, let's circle back to those fantastic offers you've prepared for our audience. Kindly invite them once again.
Yes. So the offers that I have for you, one-on-one coaching. I have a monthly group membership called the Heart-Led Healing Membership, which is a
Mhm.
lower cost option for coaching and community support. And then the third is my group program, the Mind Body Initiative. So if you're interested in either of those, please reach out to me. And then you can always grab that freebie on my website.
All right, all right. As we wrap up today's incredible episode, I want to express my heartfelt thank you, Coach Leah, for joining us today and generously sharing your wealth and your time and your wealth of expertise today. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you, Ritz. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Now, all right, Fam Bam, thank you all for joining us today. Remember, the power to transform your outer world lies within. All right, embrace change, nurture your growth, and find your path to success. Join us again next time for more insightful conversation. Until then, keep dreaming, keep growing, and keep thriving. This is Ritzel, Loreto Rectra, and Coach Leah Drew. See you soon and keep talking business with Ritz. Bye, everyone. All right.